Hey everybody, Karyn Bryant here, and today I've got Joe Pyfer kicking back with me, and he, of course, is the main event at UFC Vegas 86 up against Jack Hermansson. And just as we started getting going here, Joe, you were saying you got a lot going on. How different does it feel for you now to be in a main event?
Besides just the media, having them film you, follow you around, try to get really dig into your backstory and build the fight. So, yeah, I mean, not too much different aside from that. I'm accustomed to this. Even though this is my first experience going through it, I'm not really flustered or uncomfortable with anything. It's what I've expected to happen. So yeah, doing it, taking it in stride, and trying to live every day in the moment. As cliche as it sounds, I don't get to do this career twice, so trying to make the most of it.
That's a great way to think about it. And talking about your backstory, for those who don't know, I mean, you came from some hard times and some really hard places. So I know we've spoken about that before, your story, and in general, you had a documentary about that as well, right?
Yeah, so I have a documentary that's pending. We're trying to get it on a big platform.
Hmm.
We have a couple negotiations. It's something that takes a lot of time, a lot more time than I expected. But yeah, I can't wait for it to get on a platform. I can't say which yet, but we're close. And I'm just hoping with the momentum of this fight that it gets released sooner rather than later, so that way the timing of it, it's my journey to the UFC.
Yeah.
So it's a very important message for younger kids and the younger generation, which is where I was rushing home from. I was at my old high school where, my former wrestling coach that took me in, and basically is the reason why I'm in the UFC. So I just went to their pep rally to give the kids some inspiration to go back to the places where they began. So yeah, it's hopefully it releases soon.
That's so cool. That must be such a great feeling because obviously when you were in it through those hard times, I'm imagining there had to be a lot of times when you maybe thought you were never going to get out. So what does that feel like for you to be able to go and share that story with people and to be living proof that you can succeed?
Yeah, it's a weird feeling, because I still feel like I'm the same guy as far as
Mhm.
like what I feel when I'm there, and it's a little off-putting when everybody knows who you are, and,
Mhm.
and they're excited to meet you, and it's kind you're kind of taken back in a sense because you don't understand why, and
Yeah.
that's at least how I am. I don't put myself above anybody else. Except when it comes to fighting, I know where I stand. But as far as a person, me to you, I talk like as long as I get respect, I give it, and generally I give it first. Unless I don't like you, then I don't, right? But yeah, I mean it's cool. I always had this feeling that I wasn't meant to be average,
Mhm.
and I don't think I live an average life. I don't think any fighter, especially at this level, does. We are not average people,
Mhm.
and I may not have always seen the light of how it would come to fruition, but I always knew, and I always believed, and thankfully it came true. So I always believed I was supposed to do something big, and I'm in the process of doing it right now. I'm writing my pages right now.
I love that. It's funny because I feel like a lot of us, and I definitely do this myself. You'll alternate. Some days you really feel like the world is beating you up, and like it's not going to happen, and this isn't going my way, and this didn't happen. But like there's inside this other voice that's like, no, no, we're good. Like you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there, and you had to learn that self reliance at a young age. So for you, I'm sure now the ups and downs of the MMA career, it's like it's maybe a little easier to take this kind of career ups and down stuff because you had like real life up and downs.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at my career, I don't really think I took a whole lot of ups and downs as far
Yeah.
as losses, right? I'm
Not
12
yet,
and
right? Yeah.
I'm 12 and no, not ever. I yeah, not ever. That's my mentality. I don't
Nice.
no man's beating me until it happens, and I don't see anybody in this division that's beating me. So,
Nice.
that's what I believe, and yeah, I mean, look, like I got two losses, right? One was breaking my arm, and one was from I lost the fight legitimately, and I knew I was mentally. I knew I wasn't okay. I didn't know much about myself. I didn't know what I was fighting for. I didn't know what my purpose was. Like I knew I
Hmm.
was fighting, but I wasn't in the UFC. I wasn't making money. I was still broke, and I would train every day. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to keep the faith in something, but I've kept the faith in the sport for 23 years now. And, this is why I get aggravated when people say things about experience and whatnot. I've been around people that have gone on to be world champions. I've seen
Yeah.
people lose. I know what it's like to lose. I've already lost in my career early. When I was 6-0, defending my first title, I lost. And, just on the regional scene. So Jeremiah Wells is a teammate of mine who's fighting with me next weekend, and
Hmm.
I wasn't there when he said this, but he said that we can't. He said I can't lose. I'm in the UFC, and when you come from the slums and from not knowing how you were going to make it out, there is no losing. Even if I lost a fight, there's no losing in life. I don't lose in life. I learn and I get better. And if I don't, then I need to go reach out and figure out how to be better. So I don't think there's any more losing for me, no matter what happens in the cage.
I love that. That's a really great mentality. And I do wonder though if right you right away became a meme with the whole be Joe Pyfer, right? Dana's expression of how he wanted fighters to be like you and to approach the sport like you and to have that drive like you and to keep trying to come out here to win. Did you get any pushback though from other fighters because also it came out that, yeah, maybe he had given you some cash to help you pay your rent and things. And I can imagine while that story is so great and so uplifting, there might have been people that were mad or jealous of you. Did you get any of that resistance?
Oh yeah, I mean even in Abdul, like they were hating on the B Joe Pyfer when I walked in. They were like, "Man, fuck B Joe Pyfer," and him and Joaquin Buckley were real salty about it. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't give a. I don't know if I can curse, but I don't give a shit
Go
what
ahead.
anybody
Yeah.
thinks about me. I don't give a fuck how they feel. It's not my problem. I'm one of one. I'm Joe Pyfer the fifth, and I'm one. I'm one of one. There is no duplicates. And this is my story. This is something that has been long before I won my contract in the UFC. So
Hmm.
what they don't understand is I was never the kid that was paraded as the example, and I earned that. I earned that. I was the only one that got a contract, and it wasn't because of a stellar performance. I definitely won, and it was a fun fight, but I was so nervous. I was scared of where I was going to live. I couldn't afford not to win, and I just had everything against me, mentally, physically, like just everything. If I lost the second contender, I'm never getting in the UFC probably. Like all these people that thought I was dumb when I broke my arm. So that moment was special, and it was be the example because of my perseverance, because of my story, because of my attitude coming back. I screamed at him to give me it. There was no asking. There was sign my shit. Like I felt so disrespected from the first encounter because it was like that wasn't how a fight's supposed to end. I felt
Hmm.
cheated. Everybody stopped talking to me when I lost. Like I was in depression. You know, my girlfriend at the time was the only person that believed and stood by me, and just like so yeah, I had a chip on my shoulder. So beat Joe Pyfer, I fucking earned that, and I'm 1-on-1. So anybody that don't like it, fuck yourself. Like that's how I feel. That's truly how I feel, and not one of them will say shit to my face. And if they do, we can get it. That's how I feel. Don't
Nice.
hate on. There's enough for all of us. There's enough for all of us. Sean Strickland's got his story.
Yeah.
You Francis has got his story. Ngannou. We all got our story. We all got our shit. And for you to hate on me, hey, closed mouths don't get fed. And I spoke up. So
It's so true. And look at what is the other one? Putting out somebody else's light doesn't make yours shine brighter.
100%. I mean, what's there to hate on, right? Like,
Yeah.
you don't know. Half the people that don't even like me don't even know me. And I can't say that that's often, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I get a ton of hate. It's just, I don't, they're my peers, right? Like, we fight in the same company, but I don't give a
Hmm.
fuck about Joaquin Buckley. I don't give a fuck about Abdul Al Hassan. I don't care. So, yeah, I mean, hate on me from a distance, bro. Stay in your lane.
All right, well, let's talk about this fight with Jack, though. But he's a hard guy to hate. He's such a nice guy. I had a nice conversation with him yesterday. He's just a real good dude. And he's somebody that's been in the UFC for quite some time now. And so you've got this veteran ahead of you that is in the rankings and is a guy that has some really quality wins. And the losses that he has are up against the best of the best. So when you look at a guy like Jack Hermansson, what do you find are the things that you're going to have to look out for the most?
I think he's an unorthodox fighter. I think he's a tough guy. I don't really look into his record too much. Like I know he lost a split decision to Sean Strickland. I know he
Yeah.
got knocked out by Thiago Santos. He beat David Branch. He got knocked out by Jared Cannonier. Like
Hmm.
I've done my research. I've watched film. I know who he is. I know what he does. and I know what he does very thoroughly. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I have to look into that, right? Like that's what causes anxiety. Going and looking at, oh, he's beat these guys, he's only lost the best. I don't care. You've been out
Yeah.
a year, you got surgery, you're 35 years old, you're 2-3 in your last five, and you're nervous. You're going against the kid that can take it from you. I can take his spot. I will take his spot, and I think I'm going to show Jack is my toughest fight that I've ever had in my MMA career, and he has the potential to make it that. But with everything in my being, I believe that this fight, and I don't care to say it because, somebody makes a meme because I was there to, say how I feel. Is it is what it is. I believe that this is going to be my toughest fight that I made look easy. So there's a big, big power difference between us. There's a big power, and there's a big IQ difference between us. So yeah, let's rumble.
You
Let's
sound
rumble.
very ready, and I know that you've been training with Brendan Allen, right? Who Jack was supposed to face at one point, right? So,
Yeah, I trained a
how?
couple days. He came up. He trained a
Okay,
couple days with me.
yeah.
I've trained a couple days with Eric Anders. I've
Hmm.
trained with Randy Brown. I trained with obviously my UFC teammates, but
Yeah.
in particular that I've trained the most with has been one teammate on my team who's an up and coming pro, Igor. He'll be out there with me. Nursultan, who's in the middleweight division. Ruzabayev, who's 35-8, I think, something like that. So
Yeah.
he's one of my main training partners. So trust me, I got more than veterans over on my team. I don't give a shit about this veteran shit no more. Like I'm so tired of hearing that. It's a new fight. Doesn't matter how many fights you have before me. I'm the new test. He's my new test, and he's got all my respect in preparation.
Yeah, it does seem too that we kind of get this every whatever years. Like you get a new generation. You get a lot of you get the veteran versus the young guy matchups. We're seeing these a lot, and there's a lot riding on it, and there's a lot ahead of you, and there's a lot of opportunity. So if you're able to beat Jack, have you already sort of plotted out the steps you'd like to take to get to the top?
No.
Okay.
I don't look anything past Jack. If I don't win, all this shit's for nothing. These interviews, in my head and the way I think, the Joe Rogan stuff I did, the interviews that I've done, the filming that they did, it all means nothing if I can't get past Jack. So I don't plan
Hmm.
past the fight. I have no idea what I'm doing after. I have no idea where I'm going after. I don't know how I'm going to
Hmm.
feel after. So all I care about is popping Jack's head off his body and getting him. And that's that. This is my living, and I can't afford to lose, and that's all I care about. I want to beat this man, and I want to beat him in dominant fashion. That's one thing I always pride myself in. I don't win by slight decisions, split decisions. I'm coming for him. So, and yeah, I think I get him out of there.
Well, yeah, you definitely do seem to already approach your fights in a yeah, like it seems do or not, and then that's not to say that everybody isn't out there to win, but yes, you've already definitely established yourself as somebody that goes for it all the way. Obviously, what do you do for fun though, Joe? What do you do when you're not training? Do you do anything besides train? I should
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
that
yeah.
first.
No, I'm, I'm in a certain mode right now. But
Yeah.
yeah, when I'm not in camp, I play video games. I play Call of Duty. I'm
Nice.
into cars. I love cars. I like building cars.
Hmm.
I'm always doing something with a car or a motorcycle. Or this summer I got a jet ski. I want to get another jet ski if everything goes well. I was doing a lot of tubing.
Nice.
So I like to have fun. I love the beach. I love going to arcades. And yeah, I do a lot. So I like the outdoors. I like going on hikes, and it's always something car related or speed related and video game related. So I do a
Oh,
lot of fun stuff, though. I'm a wild man.
yeah, I would imagine. So did you see Gran Turismo then, the movie based on the video game of
No, it doesn't really intrigue me. I don't. I know it's a true story, but
yeah.
I haven't gotten around to it yet. I do want to watch it. I just haven't because I don't know.
I
I by the time I get home, it's going to bed and trying to make sure with my aura ring that I got a good sleep score. I'm like, you know what I mean? So
I get that. It's a good movie though. It actually is good. What's your dream car then?
2017 Dodge Viper ACR. I want the yellow and black one from the Pennzoil commercial. I would love to have that. And I actually I told Joe Rogan that when they played it on there. That's one of my dream cars. Would love to get that. I've always loved it, and yeah.
I
So
gotta ask my brother because he had a Viper, and I feel like he had a yellow and black Viper at one point. So I'll have to ask him.
yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so you're not looking past Jack, but you're definitely looking at Jack, and you're definitely out here to make a statement. The last thing I'll ask is, you know, Have you psyched yourself up any differently though, being a main event? I mean, obviously you've said you've done these things before, you've had the media behind you and you've been followed and stuff, but it is different, right? Like it is different to have your first main event. So I am curious if there's just anything different about it for you.
Yeah, the only thing that's different is the intensity of which I've trained, which I always train
Mhm.
hard. I'm always pushing the red line. I'm always trying to figure out where that bitch in me lies through these camps. So yeah, it's 25 minutes now, right? So I'm prepared for 25 minutes. I don't think it will go 25 minutes, but I am accepting and able to fight for 25 minutes. If it means I have to beat this man half to death for 25 minutes, it's what I will do. So that's the only difference. I don't give a fuck about Jack. I don't like him. I don't hate him, but he's trying to take my money from me. He's trying to take my living from me, and he's trying to take my name and put it under his resume. That's not what I'm here for. So, like I said, the odds are against him. He's had the surgery. He's 35. He's coming back. He got TKO'd on a fight he was kind of winning, right? And I wasn't impressed with that fight. So, Jack can play it cool, smile all he wants, say whatever the fuck he wants. I'm sure it's nothing bad, but yeah, he's not my friend. He's my enemy.
All right, and with that, you just cut a mean promo, Joe. Yeah, I will see you next week. I'm working that fight. I'm very excited about it. But look, you've already made a lot of impact just in the short time that you've been here in the UFC. So I and the rest of us fans definitely look forward to seeing everything that you do accomplish. So yeah, thanks for taking the time to kick it with me today. I really appreciate it, and best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. I'll see you soon.
Bye bye.